Imagine trying to live a good life in a world that's constantly changing, where people disappoint you, plans fall apart, and your emotions threaten to hijack your better judgment. The Stoics believed there was only one way to find peace in such a world: by aligning your inner life with the deeper laws of the universe, not by escaping hardship, but by learning how to meet it with reason, virtue, and grace. In our last session, we explored the discipline of perception, the art of seeing reality clearly, without the distorting filters of judgment and reactivity. We saw how Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, used this practice to find peace and purpose in the midst of life's challenges. But for the Stoics, clear seeing was just the beginning of the philosophical journey. The real test of wisdom was in action, in the choices we make and the lives we lead. The goal was not just to contemplate the universe, but to align oneself with its fundamental nature. The Stoics called this alignment living in accordance with nature. And for them, nature was not just the physical world, but the rational order that pervades all things. To live in harmony with nature, then, was to live a life of reason, virtue, and service to the greater good. This was the highest ideal of Stoic philosophy, the path of the Prokopton, the one who is making progress. And it's a path that Marcus Aurelius walked with singular dedication and integrity. In his Meditations, he returns again and again to this central question: am I living in harmony with the universe? Am I fulfilling my role as a rational being and a citizen of the cosmos? These are the questions we'll explore in today's session. We'll dive deeper into the Stoic conception of nature and what it means to align our actions with its rhythms. We'll see how Marcus applied these ideas in his own life as a leader and a moral exemplar. And we'll reflect on how we can cultivate this alignment in our own choices and relationships. So join me on this next stage of the Stoic journey, from the discipline of perception to the art of living. Let's discover what it means to walk the path of the Prokopton and to find our place in the vast web of existence. The Stoic conception of nature. To understand what the Stoics meant by living in accordance with nature, we need to grasp their vision of nature itself. For them, nature was not just the material world, but the rational principle that animates and organizes all things. The Stoics saw the universe as a living, intelligent whole, a single organism permeated by divine reason, or logos. This logos wasn't some distant deity, but an immanent force, the generative fire that gives shape and coherence to all things. From the stars in the sky to the thoughts in our heads, everything unfolds according to its logic. In this worldview, human beings aren't separate from nature but deeply woven into its fabric. We are, as Marcus puts it, citizens of the universe, endowed with reason and a share in the logos itself. Our very essence is to be rational and social beings, capable of cooperating for the common good. Constantly regard the universe as one living being, Marcus writes, having one substance and one soul. Observe, too, the continuous spinning of the thread and the contexture of the web. This idea, that we are part of a unified rational cosmos, forms the ethical bedrock of Stoicism. To flourish as human beings, we must align our lives with the order of the universe, and that means living a life of virtue, cultivating wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline. These aren't just admirable traits. For the Stoics, they are expressions of our true nature. When we live virtuously, we aren't imposing something unnatural on ourselves. We're returning to who we really are. Of course, this ideal is difficult to live up to. We're prone to fear, desire, ego, and misjudgment. That's why the Stoics emphasize practice, constant reflection, inner work, and philosophical training aimed at realignment. The art of living. For Marcus Aurelius, this work of alignment wasn't abstract theory. It was the beating heart of his daily life. His meditations are full of reminders to live in accordance with nature, to act with integrity in the face of difficulty. Never forget these things, he tells himself. The nature of the world, my nature, how I relate to the world, what proportion of it I make up, that you are part of nature, and no one can prevent you from speaking and acting in harmony with it, always. What does this look like in everyday life? For Marcus, it began with clarity about his roles. He was a father, a husband, an emperor, but most importantly, a rational soul among other rational souls. Each of these roles carried duties, and each duty was an opportunity to practice virtue. In your actions, don't procrastinate. In your conversations, don't confuse. In your thoughts, don't wander, he writes. In your soul, don't be passive or aggressive. In your life, don't be all about business. This isn't a call for perfection. It's a call for sincerity and effort. Every action is a chance to align yourself with the Logos, not out of guilt or pressure, but because doing so brings joy. For the Stoics, virtue wasn't a burden. It was the path to deep fulfillment. All that is in accord with you is in accord with me, O universe, Marcus writes. Nothing which occurs at the right time for you is too early or too late for me. It is from you that all things come. Subsist in you. Go back to you. This love of fate, amor fati, is a cornerstone of Stoic joy. It's not resignation, but trust. Trust that whatever happens is part of a larger, wise order. Even hardships have their place in the pattern. Marcus didn't always find this easy. His journals reveal frustration, weariness, even despair. But what makes his example so powerful is precisely this. He kept coming back. He recommitted over and over to the philosophical path. So how can we walk this same path? How can we too become citizens of the cosmos? It begins with perception, seeing clearly. When we can meet reality without the fog of reactivity, we're better equipped to act in harmony with it. This clarity becomes the compass for right action. Then we ask, what would nature have me do? What choice serves not just my interests, but the good of the whole? The Stoics didn't promise easy answers. Sometimes our roles conflict. Sometimes no path seems perfect. But they trusted in situational wisdom, the ability to sense what's right in a given moment. This comes not from rigid rules, but from inner alignment. You can live here as you expect to live there, Marcus wrote. And if others don't go along, then they've made their choice for themselves and their actions. We cannot control the choices of others, but we can act from our own center, rooted in clarity and virtue. And that, in turn, contributes to the harmony of the whole. Marcus often returned to the metaphor of the hive. What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee, he wrote. That which is not good for the swarm is not good for the bee. This expansive sense of belonging, of being part of a larger community of reason, is vital in today's world. It reminds us that our actions ripple outward, that we are all bound together in a single, living order. When we act with this awareness, our choices become expressions of something greater than ourselves. We embody the virtues not for praise, but because they make us who we are meant to be. This path isn't a one-time decision. It's a continual practice, what the Stoics called prosoche, or vigilant attention. Prosoche means staying awake to the present moment, noticing the impressions that enter the mind, watching our impulses before they carry us away, remaining grounded in reason, even amid chaos. For Marcus, this attention was non-negotiable. Everywhere and continually, he wrote, "It is up to you to rejoice piously at what is occurring at the present moment, to conduct yourself with justice toward those who are present, and to apply rules of discernment to your perceptions so that nothing slips in that is not objective." This kind of watchfulness might seem exhausting, but over time, it becomes second nature. It frees us from being ruled by moods or fears. It gives us space to choose our responses wisely. In daily life, prosoche is a kind of spiritual fitness. It's what allows us to pause before reacting, to question our narratives, to adjust our course midstream. It makes philosophy practical. It's not about rigid control, it's about flexible responsiveness. The world is unpredictable, but we can still move with it instead of against it. At its core, Stoicism is a practice of remembering who we are, why we're here, and what truly matters. It calls us back again and again to the deep roots of meaning and connection. When we walk the path of the Prokopton, we remember that we're part of something vast and alive. We are expressions of the universal logos, and we have a role to play in the great unfolding. This is the vision that carried Marcus Aurelius through war, plague, loss, and power. He held fast to the conviction that everything is interwoven in a great design. He knew his own thoughts and actions mattered, not because they changed the world, but because they reflected his place within it. And he invites us to do the same, to live with presence, to act with integrity, to trust the order beneath the surface. So let us walk this path together as fellow travelers in the great journey of existence. Let us cultivate the wisdom to see clearly, the compassion to care deeply, and the resilience to act boldly in service of the greater good. This is the way of the Prokopton, the one who is making progress. May we all find our way, step by step, into ever deeper alignment with the living Logos, the rational soul of the universe. And when the inevitable storms of life soak us without warning, may we remember that peace is not found in controlling the weather, but in mastering our response to it. And in that response, may we discover the true joy of a life well lived.